Okay, there we go. I just lost 3 minutes of time, folks, because I didn't hit the right button at the right time. Hi, I'm Joe Evans. I'm your Libertarian congressional candidate for the 1st District of the state of Idaho. Please like, love, share, comment. Let me know what's going on in your mind, because that's what this is about. This is my Ask Me Anything, my town tour, my listening tour. Make it whatever it is you need it to be so that we can communicate, so that we can come up with ideas, so that we can understand where each other's coming from. I want to make sure you get the kind of governance slash ungovernance you want for America. Yes, I do believe in active ungovernance. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term, yeah, I kind of made it up. Ungovernance. It's about going in and removing those ways the government has created to interfere in our day-to-day lives. We do it. It's bad. It's not good. We have homeowners associations that tell us how long our grass can be. We have utilities that tell us we can't use solar power or wind power generators for powering our own homes. We have physicians, we have pharmacists who say that we can't use herbs and certain other healthy foods and lifestyles to compensate for the medicines they want to sell us. We have gatekeeper organizations that continue to get in our way day in, day out. Active ungovernance is the process of going in and repealing all of those things that prevent us from making informed decisions and taking action in our own lives. So, please, active ungovernance, active governance. What is it you need? What is it you care about? Okay, so let's go ahead and hit the local news. Coronavirus, Idaho. We've hit a record high today. 17 individuals are dead today due to complications related to coronavirus. It's a record. I know there's an awful lot of states going 17. It's like 5 minutes in New York. The population here in Idaho, it doesn't translate real well to that whole 17 in 5 minutes in New York versus 17 an entire day here. It is becoming much more personal in that there are more people who have been exposed to it, who continue to have friends and family that are dying of it. We now, used to be as like, nobody knows anybody who's had it. Well, guess what, folks? Now we know people who have had it. We've known people who have died from it. And that continues to spread further and further out as we deal with this. Now, government, they jacked up the initial response. They jacked up subsequent responses. They gave us bad information. Then they gave us good information. Then they gave us more bad information. CDC screwed things up. Health departments have screwed things up. We have literally politicized good hygiene. He washed his hands. Oh my God, he must be a leftist Democrat. Wait, no, dude. Wash your hands. It's important. It prevents the spread of germs. Do it. You'll appreciate it in more ways than just the coronavirus issue. I won't get into those. So, moving on from coronavirus. Got into it today with somebody online. Okay, this is the Department of Justice, Billy Barr. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with Billy Barr was Department of Justice clear back with the Clinton administration. This was the individual who gave the go-ahead for operations like Waco, Texas, and Ruby Ridge. Okay? Ruby Ridge and Waco, Texas, both of those were operations that easily could have been handled discreetly, off campus. Individuals could have been called in, sat down, talked to, and arrested nice and safely. However, Billy Barr is a showman. He is a snake oil salesman. He is a crap for brains individual. And why some individuals continue to protect his brand of iron-fisted statesmanship continues to amaze me. Okay. Billy Barr was the one who gave the hunter-killer order for Pappas. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, Portland about 2 weeks ago. Proud Boys went into town. Prayer Boys went into town. They went in, they did a convoy with all of their Trump flags. Now, I personally don't have any objection with you showing your patriotism. However, I do object when you decide to take out your bear spray and your paint guns and pelt random people on the streets as you're driving through, making a general obnoxious. Yeah, that. Anyway, after they got done assaulting and injuring individuals without any repercussions from the police, there was an encounter on the streets later that night. Somebody identified one of the individuals in that encounter as Pappas. Allegedly, Pappas shot one of the Prayer Patriot guys, killing him dead in the streets of Portland. Billy Barr initiated a hunter-killer assassination squad, saying they're, basically with no intention of taking Pappas alive. I don't know about you, but that's not the country I grew up in. We don't kill alleged murderers, when we have the opportunity to take them alive. Presumption of innocence until found guilty. Okay, for those of you that are saying, well, Pappas deserved it. Ruby Ridge, did they deserve it? Waco, did the children who died in the Waco fire as a result of FBI mismanagement deserve it? Okay, this is Billy Barr. Okay, so let's get this authoritarian crap out of the way. Billy Barr worked for Bill Clinton. That means he was part of the process during a Democratic administration. He currently works for Trump. That makes his particular behavior part of a Republican administration. Barr is deep state. You want to complain about deep state? Complain about Barr. It fits. So, let's go ahead and admit Joe Biden, longtime friends with Bill Clinton, longtime friends with Billy Barr. Reason why is because when Billy Barr made those really bad calls for Waco and Ruby Ridge, guess who Billy Barr's oversight was? Joe Biden. Joe Biden sent on the Senate Judiciary Affairs Committee. He was the one who gave congressional cover to Bill Barr in his mismanagement of the two cases. Joe Biden and Billy Barr are friends. Trump and Billy Barr are friends. Trump's as much deep state as anybody else, folks. Time to accept it, realize it. We do not murder people in the streets because of allegations, regardless of what those allegations are. We hold the state to a higher standard, period. Now, is there a good chance Pappas would have been found guilty during trial? Yes. However, it's not how we do things. Or at least it shouldn't be how we do things, despite Billy Barr's record with the Department of Justice, showing that, yes, that is very much the American way to do things. It's not the kind of America I want to live in, however. I hope it's not the kind of America you want to live in. Okay, so enough of the fact that Billy Barr is a total waste of space and probably needs to be in a federal prison for crimes against humanity. No, skip that. He doesn't belong in a federal prison. He belongs in an international prison. Reason why is because he's got a long history of violations of human rights that should have put him in The Hague. Anyway, my personal opinion on the issue. What else you guys got? Come on, talk to me. Let me know what's important to you on this Wednesday. We've talked Billy Barr. We've talked coronavirus. God, it's a beautiful day in Boise right now. And despite the storms that came through, we managed to blow off an awful lot of the smoke and haze that's been sitting around here. It's good. Talked a couple of times in the last couple of days. It's a good one, Tina. This one's an interesting one. Right to self-defense. Right to defense of life, liberty, and property. Okay, a woman's abuser, woman's rapist. In a lot of those cases, we're going to go talk justice reform right now. The reason why is because this is a huge issue. Right now, we have women in prison right now for killing their abusers, killing their rapists, with more than adequate evidence that this was a self-defense position. They were in imminent danger of their lives when they killed an ex-lover, when they killed their ex-husband, or in some cases, even their husband. Adequate proof that they were in imminent danger of their life and liberty when they pulled the trigger, killing the individual. I'm not talking burning bed arrangement where she ties him to the bed and then proceeds to burn the house down around him. I'm talking situations where she got access to a knife or a gun and in self-defense killed, ex-lover, ex-friend, rapist, so forth, so on. And now she's in prison. Not self-defense. That's one of those situations. In the act, absolutely. Catch him, run him through the wood chopper. Period. Probably shouldn't be saying that. Reason why is because the usual boogaloo reference for wood choppers involves something else. It's another situation that continues to be a significant problem across the United States right now. Child abuse. Exploitation situations right now. I mean, literally, we have families across the United States that in some instances are trafficking young children just to pay their bills. And by young, I don't mean young. At least I hope I don't mean young. Most of these girls usually end up 15, 16, end up working the sex trade in order to help the family pay the bills. Yeah. Just how bad is the economy right now that parents are willing to sell off their daughters in order to pay bills? But yeah, we got this problem across the United States right now with regards to child abuse, sexual abuse, crimes against women and children that we just can't seem to get a handle on. Of course, it doesn't help that right now we have people who are spending more time in prison for drugs than rape and murder, unless you're a woman who killed your abuser, in which case you do it anyway. Sentencing discrepancies. We got a situation right now, 16-year-old girl, I think maybe she's 18 now. Actually, we got a couple young women who killed their pimps, killed a John or some other individual while they were involved in the sex trade, while they were being abused as minors, currently spending time in prison. And it needs fixed, straight up. But yeah, what to do when there is inadequate evidence in order to take it to trial is usually what ends up happening. Yeah, there's no shortage of ways to collect the evidence. Of course, the thing is most of the time when somebody rapes or abuses somebody, there's a situation where there is no evidence around to be found. There's no film. There's no... Yeah. Yeah, me on that one. Yeah. One of the other problems we have with justice reform in the United States, especially with regards to crimes against women and children, is the way that the police handle it. In Boise, we have a real big problem with regards to the way rape is handled. The investigators in an awful lot of cases are, what were you wearing? What were you doing? Why you were involved with them? It's gotten to the point where the police can actually have a witness in the booth during an investigation, doing an interview, and the guy actually admits to raping her, and they still won't prosecute it for a number of reasons. Boise, Idaho in general, has a real bad problem with prosecuting crimes against women and children. We need to fix that. Absolutely. We need better investigation. We need better techniques. We need better trained investigators. One of the problems with that goes back to the issue of most of our investigations, most of our money is invested in low-hanging fruit like drug crimes, street crime. No, I shouldn't say street crime, drug crimes. We spend significantly more money on investigating drug crimes and doing drug interdiction, to the point where we have cops that buy drugs to give to middlemen to sell drugs to other cops as part of the investigation. Then we actually, it's low-hanging fruit. It's easy money. It keeps the cops in business. It keeps the prisons in business. Why spend 2 weeks doing an investigation against crimes against women and children when you can do 20 minutes against a drug dealer? Cost-benefit analysis. We've actually created a business model for arrests and which crimes we actually want to prosecute in the given state. Higher return on drugs right now in the state of Idaho. That's what happens when you turn it into a business model, folks. You don't end up with justice. But that's where we're at with that. Yeah, we definitely need to do more with regards to police reform, investigation reform, so the crimes against women and children do become a higher priority again, particularly in the state of Idaho, especially when it comes to dealing with rape and child abuse and child sexual abuse. Spend the money where it actually makes difference to our society and our culture, rather than spending money rather than spending the money in a way that generates a high profit return for the state via prisons. We can do better than that, folks. I mean, spending $40,000 a year keeping somebody in prison that could just as easily be out on the economy as non-violent. Yes, absolutely. Good old boys club that exists throughout needs to be dismantled. Workforce all the way up. Come a long way, but not near enough. Yeah. For those of you who are not familiar, Good Old Boys Club. Yeah, it's alive and well in the state of Idaho. This comes from everything from who decides to work, where, to who's in politics at any given time. We've suffered at the hands of good old boys and the political networks in the state of Idaho for quite a while now. Jim Risch came to Idaho some 40 years ago. He's been a politician almost from the day he got here. Admittedly, it started out as a part-time politician, January, February, March. Every year, turn around, run for re-election. He even ended up governor for a short period of time. But the people who exist within politics in the state of Idaho are there because of a Good Old Boys Club. And it's because they know that they will be able to continue to support the plan that keeps the rich in Idaho rich, keeps the powerful in Idaho powerful. Some of you caught me the other night hanging out with Greg Pruitt. Yeah, I know. I'm not exactly a huge fan of Greg myself, for a number of different reasons. I will give him kudos for his 2A position. Absolutely. Everybody should be able to carry guns anywhere they want. Normalize it. and part of the system. Reason why is because criminals aren't afraid of police. They aren't. They need to be afraid of the people they want to victimize. Back to self-defense, right there. Absolutely. Normalize gun culture. I know that's not real popular with an awful lot of people right now. I don't think guns should be in a lot of normal places. I don't carry a gun in a lot of places I go because I feel safe going to the grocery store. I don't need to be armed to the teeth to pick up some peanut butter and eggs. I definitely think it should be one of those things where where the criminals have to play guessing games. They should just assume that everybody is armed and dangerous. In states like Idaho, it's a pretty easy assumption to make. Concealed carry. But yeah, good old boys. It's been around for quite a while. And back to Greg Pruitt's issue. As much as I hate Chad Christensen, he beat a 30-year incumbent in state politics. He crushed a 30-year incumbent in state politics because he changed the message. He changed what we were talking about. We need to do more of that. We need to get more of our career politicians out of the office. We need more working people occupying those seats in our state legislature and occupying the seats in Congress back in Washington, D.C. We need people who aren't career politicians going in and making those decisions. That dismantles the good old boy network. That dismantles these endless power structures that continue to exist throughout the United States. And they keep funneling more and more power into fewer and fewer hands. Consolidation of power, consolidation of that good old boys network. That club's pretty big, but it's getting smaller and smaller, and you still aren't in it. But yeah, no, we got an awful lot of incumbents that are running again. Last night, I actually had an opportunity to sit on while Regina Bear. Yep. That's an interesting situation because 2 years ago, I ran against Regina Bear's son, Cliff Bear. Okay. Cliff Bear was senator for District 21. After Cliff Bear won the election, this was a three-way race, mind you, and I was running as a libertarian, so yeah, my chances were pretty slim, and the fact that it was a three-way race sort of complicated the issue. Idahoans don't like wasting their votes on. Yeah, anyway. Voting libertarian is not a wasted vote, though, folks. It really is not. I mean, take a look at the other two options. Even if you don't like the libertarian platform, you still got the greater evil, the lesser evil, the least evil. Yeah, take a little time. I personally think libertarian is the greater good. But last night, got an opportunity to talk with Regina Bear. Cliff Bear, I ran against him 2 years ago. Regina was appointed to him to fill his seat. That's Cliff's mom. When Cliff accepted a job as chief of staff for Russ Fulcher, who I am running against this year. Yes, I am. Which really comedy of errors is the only way I can really look at it. Because here I am actually running to put Cliff out of a job again by removing Russ Fulcher from Congress and changing that chief of staff position out. But, here's the thing. Russ is part of a family of politicians. Russ's mom used to be a organizer, here in the state legislature. She wasn't a candidate. She wasn't a legislator herself or a senator herself. Her husband was, at the time. Cliff's dad used to be a politician here in the state of Idaho, did an awful lot of work in there. Regina did an awful lot of support work as a nonprofit organizer, as a community organizer. She did an awful lot of work in the state house. So Cliff was just continuing on a family tradition of politics in the state of Idaho. Why, a political dynasty. Why do we have political dynasties in the state of Idaho? Why is it the same people, the sons of senators and legislators, that continue to run for office time and time again? We had, our founding fathers created a situation. The idea was to put the working man in office for a short period of time to make decisions on behalf of the nation that would help grow the nation, help create a nation. And literally, we've created a caste system of our politics. You need to get out. You need to start running working class people for offices. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Libertarian. You and I may disagree on politics. You may like statism. You may like, the iron fist of law and order. You may disapprove of it, like the Libertarian. You may seek more social liberties, across the United States. I don't care. Run. Get your views out there. Be heard. Say what you need to say. Get yourself a spot in the legislature. Get yourself a spot in Congress so that you can speak for the people, so that you can speak from your experience, rather than allowing political dynasties to continue to decide the fate of America with no understanding of the trials and tribulations of working class Americans, or even middle class Americans. I mean, you spend enough time in politics, you're no longer in the middle class range. You're working in that upper range. That's just the way it is. Politics create power. So, again, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks again, Tina. Really appreciate the questions today. Like, share, comment. Let people know about me. Let people know about you. Fund my campaign. Help me get into Congress. Help me create those solutions that America needs right now. Go ahead. Absolutely. Go look up my opponents. I got two of them right now. I got Rudy Soto. He's my Democrat competitor. I have Russ Fulcher. He's the incumbent. He's the one who's been sitting in Congress for the last 2 years now. Before that, he spent time sitting here in the state legislature. Before that, he was a board member of the Idaho Freedom Foundation. Admit, I'm not a fan of the IFF. I don't think they've lived up to their name. That's my competition. They've been in politics for a while. Me, I'm brand new. And I want to make things happen for you. Give me the chance, folks. Like, love, share. Donate to my campaign. Come out and visit me. I got a couple events coming up. Also, 16th, Jo Jorgensen is going to be right here in Boise. Those of you who aren't familiar with the park, we're in Cecil B. Andrus Park right now. Looking over there, see that? Through the trees, we got the Capitol over there, folks. If we can swing it, this is where we're going to do it at. This is where we're going to have Jo Jorgensen at for our Boise rally here on the 16th September. Come down. Join us. Hear what we have to say. Love you. Family, friends, community. It's how we make it happen, folks. Peace. Hey, Uds. Doing good, man. Doing good. I'm on my way out, though. Have a good one.